Hey guys, so it's late at night, but I was watching this video on favorite books. They don't have like a Kindle or whatever, so my nails are wet, so I'm being really weird. My hair is like all over the place, and I don't have anything on my face, so look really bad. Okay, and I have a Kindle. This is my case that I got for Christmas. It's Vera Bradley Baroque. Okay. And I actually won this Kindle. I got it for free. I put my name in a drawing and they picked my name. It's not touchscreen, it's just like it's like a $80 Kindle. I mean, it's nothing fancy to read books on. Kind of its main purpose. That looks like I stole my crown. Okay, whatever. But I only have two books on here, but I want to do the books that I really liked um on here, and then books that I want to read in the future. Um, so the first one is Hunger Games. Let me go to chapter 1. Okay. Okay. So, Hunger Games. This is my Kindle. I love this book. It's by Suzanne Collins. I actually finished it a few weeks ago. It's like, I'll give you a little description of it. I've actually seen the movie too. As I was in the middle of reading it, I watched up until the part that I've read to, and then when I finished the book, I finished the movie. So, but when you start to read this book, you're like, and you get into like chapter 2 or 3, and you're like, oh, this is really good. And then you get into chapter 4, 5, and 6, and you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta keep reading. I can't put this book down. Then you're like 7, then you're like 6, 7, 8, and you're like, oh my gosh, no, this can't be happening. Blah blah blah. But like it really gets you into the feeling. You feel like you're in the book with them. Um, and I'm doing a reading report or like a report on this for school, and I actually said that in my report. I'm like, you feel like you're actually in the book with it, or you know them, or like you're with them, or whatever. But like how Katniss goes in the arena. You guys have to see. If you haven't read Hunger Games, I recommend it, because if you haven't read it, then I'm about to spoil alert for you, so don't watch this part, okay? Um, but how Prim gets called, who Prim is Katniss's younger sister. She's 12 and it's her first year in the reaping, which is 12 districts have a reaping at the same time. Two people are called to go in the arena and fight until one person comes out. Fight until death, basically. Um, and it's Prim's first year, so she only has one. It's called Tessera. She only has one in that has her name on it, and her name gets picked. And Katniss is like, I can't let my sister go in, because in Katniss is like 15 or 16. You go in at 12 and stop at 18. She's like 15 or 16. She volunteers, and then Peeta gets called. Of course, he's in the arena, and how they connect in the arena. It's like how they connect and how they really start to care for each other and feel for each other in the book. And then after the arena, it's like, what happened? Okay, come back. Um, but and then so that's done with Hunger Games. I really recommend this book. It's really good. Um, the next one that I'm currently reading is, of course, Catching Fire, which is the second of this book. I'm really not going to go back to chapter 1 because this is the page I'm on. I had a little bookmark. But I'm on page 75 out of 391. But this is a really good book so far. And how the victor tour from the arena, whoever wins in the arena goes on a victor tour. And talks about that in the beginning of the book. And then my friend told me that there's another reaping Um, and I'm like, oh no. I'm like, okay, I wonder who goes back in. But I kind of know who goes in and who doesn't, or goes in and who comes out, or whatever. Uh, and this is a really good book, and I haven't finished it, but I definitely recommend it. And, let me go to I'm actually going to my wish list right now. I have a little wish list. We'll show you it once it gets filled up. Wish list. Okay. Okay. So this is what my wish list looks like. I have how many pages of my wish list? 1 page of wish list. I had like 3, and then I was like, I don't want that, I don't want that, I don't want that. I had like a bunch of the Pretty Little Liars books, and I'm like, I watched the show. Why do I need to read the books? But one that I really want in, it's by Nick Banchuki. Don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he was born without any arms or legs, so he has no limbs. And it's his book on how he lives his life. It's called Unstoppable: The Incredible Power of Faith in Action. Um, but I mean, this book just looks so good because if you watch his videos, he has just such a good, he has such like a good personality about it, and good, not personality, how do I says he has a good attitude about it. That's the word I was looking for. Attitude. It has a little picture of him on a surfboard. I'm like, you're like, how in the world can he surf? But it's he has to have help or whatever, and he has a wife. He got married a few years ago. But people accept him for who he is because he can't really help it. I mean, like, he didn't decide to get him off. He was born without him. And I mean, it's I really want to read it. And then there's Fang. You have to read at least one James Patterson book to know what Fang is, and it's the book that you need to read by James Patterson to understand is Maximum Ride. My teacher in 5th grade read that to me. It was a really good book. It's about like these evil erasers or whatever. I was like, what is this? And then he really got into it, and it was really good. And then I've never read a Judy Blume book, but everyone says this one's really good, so I want to try it. You know, Forever by Judy Blume. Don't really know much about it, but there's this one book in my school I really want to read. It's called Fly Girl. It's about Amelia Earhart, whatever her name is, and it's by Sherry L. Smith. And I mean, I don't even know. It's like 500 pages. It's like 400 pages or whatever. But I really want to read it. And then the last one, which I'm going to read next after Hunger Games, is Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. And it says, it's just a Hunger Games trilogy, it says. But I mean, it's number 24, paid in Kindle, sales include 390 pages. But I would recommend the Hunger Games trilogy. I finished the first book. I'm working on the second, and then going on to the third. I recommend it already. Haven't even read them all, but I really do recommend it. My friends say they're awesome. Some other books that I would recommend are The Princess Plot. It's a book that I have up here. And it's really good. My friend let me borrow it, and she was like, "Oh, I already read it. You can keep it." I was like, "Oh, thanks." And then I bought the other one, the second book of it. It's called The Princess Trap, and it's really good too. And then it's like this little short book, but it's Shattered Star Recruited, and this one I read. beaten. I knew it had something to do with beaten up. I thought it was beaten up, but beaten. So these are what they look like. It says beaten. They have like little bricks on the back. But I haven't finished Recruited because I kind of got distracted by Hunger Games. And then I have this little book, which I've read a million times. The Titanic story. I don't know why, but for some reason, I could read this all day, every day. Seriously, like, I mean, like, it's so short, but it gives you so many details, and like, it gives you actual pictures. Like, actual picture of the Titanic, right here. Really good. Actual picture of E.J. Smith, who was the captain of the book. If you guys seen the movie, you guys know who I'm talking about. The Titanic as it's being built, right here. The actual Titanic as it's getting stocked. One of the actual rooms, the actual gym. Not about that. Right there. Right there. They don't actually put this part in the book or in the movie, but this, if you read it, you'll know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna explain that part. This is the Titanic right there, right in the back. Actual people. This was the actual radio operation board on the Titanic. Like, actual. That's from the movie. If you guys didn't know this, but the Titanic's actually 2.5 miles underground. It's not that far. Underground, of course. Actual people who were getting rescued on the lifeboats. More. And a bit down here. It's just a boat steaming here. Actual people trying to get off the Titanic, or onto their Carpathia, I'm sorry. Person passing out newspaper with a newspaper heading, and the newspaper heading was, Titanic sinks 4 hours after hitting iceberg. 866 rescued by Carpathia. Probably 1,500 perished. Ismay safe. Miss Astor maybe. Noted names missing. People on the Carpathia from the Titanic. Actual picture. That's from the movie, as you guys can see. Now this is how they figured out where it was. Using this stuff. This is actually in the movie, but this is what they used to figure out what the Titanic is. That's a diagram of it. Now this is an actual bag found down on the Titanic. And this was stuff in it. And then this, which I really love this picture, it's an actual picture of the Titanic. Isn't that so cool? An actual picture of the Titanic. Of course, most of it's rusted away, but a lot of people pay money to get it back up. It's never coming back up. The Titanic Rusted. Really good book. Really recommend it. So, yes. There's my book reviews. Bye!